What is happening, fellow fantasy GMs? I am JJ Wang. He is the bearded one, DJ Dub. With our powers combined, we are the Fantasy Couriers.
Week 1 is here, JJ Wang. As we told him, are recording right before the first game, but it won't be live till after the first game. I'm sure it was epic. I'm sure it was amazing. I'm sure that won the game and did a great job and got lots of fantasy points for their teams. We'll talk about the game when we do our show at the beginning of the week. But are you ready now? It's real.
It is real. So I don't watch a lot of commercials. I'm kind of like anti-commercial anymore these days. It's just how I've been worked over the last couple of years, I've guessed. And I actually seen a commercial advertising tonight's football game. This is like the first commercial I've seen advertising like the football game, and I'm not gonna lie, it actually kind of got me a little. This is like a little excited. I kind of got that feeling in my stomach. That's the first time I've gotten it all year. I guess the commercials actually do work, but I still don't watch them.
Yeah, we're there. Yeah, I'm not a commercial guy either. Like the only time I watch commercials is during sports. Sports is it. If sports is on, I'm watching commercials. Otherwise, nothing.
Yeah, well, even that the Red Zone channel eliminated commercials. So I mean, honestly,
Yeah, I like the full game atmosphere. But yeah, so in case you stumbled onto us somehow or another, we are the Fantasy Couriers. You can hit us up on Twitter, on Instagram, on Facebook. Apparently, YouTube loves us this week. We had a record-setting YouTube viewership of the Bold Prediction Show, and partially thanks to YouTube. They were recommending our video out to people to check out. Hopefully, they keep recommending us, or I write the right hashtags in the linear notes is all I can figure out. Check out the website, thefantasycouriers.wixsite.com/website to see my week 1 rankings. I'll have them ready for week 2 next week. But check them out, use them. Bust my chops if you think I'm a total joker, because I'm not sure. Right now, I actually have Josh Allen, and we'll find out. You will know by now. Lower than I have Jalen Hurts.
nonsense. I mean, what else does Josh Allen got to do in life for you to
Not
not?
play the Rams while Jalen Hurts plays the Lions. Like we're splitting hairs. I have him one position below her, but the Rams might limit what he does, and that could look like a genius or a total goof. But yeah, hit us up, send us questions. Today's show really is going to be based upon some start set questions we got. Hopefully, sometime over the weekend, we might do a live question. So we'll ask for some more start sets to share around because that's what people want to know. Who do we start? Who do we set? They don't want to hear us mumble on about who we should draft. That time is up. So I got a cool story for the first segment here. And I'm a teacher. So I've always said I'm a teacher. I've been in education for 20 years. Can you believe that? And I had a parent of a student message me the other day on Facebook. Hey, my son's doing his first fantasy football draft. He's a senior in high school, and he's nervous. He's with friends he's not done it with, and he wants to know what to do. So I got on Zoom with him the other day. We chatted it up, and I taught him all about fantasy. We talked about he knew more than I think he told his mom, and I forget his team, but he did a pretty good job. I was quite excited to see it, but he did ask a question. So it's cool to see that going back there. It's cool to see that my students are wanting to keep in touch. It means I must have we had good experience. I see him throughout, and I'll talk to him and his family when I see them. But he's getting into fantasy. I told him he's got to tell his friends about the Couriers, and he said he did. So we were texting back and forth as well. And his team came out. His team came out pretty snazzy. I was quite proud of him. But he actually has a question for us before we get into our start sets of the week. When I was talking to him, I told him how much I like Damien Pierce, and he's a Packers fan. So he said, I know you're high on Damien Pierce, but it looks like A.J. Dillon is going against a more favorable run D in Minnesota. Should I stick with the guy that won't share as many touches, or should I go for the guy who has the worst run defense?
I mean, that's a fantastic question. And I mean, that's one of those decisions in fantasy football that you dread making. But I mean, honestly, I think AJ or Dylan and Pierce are kind of like right next to each other. So if you're a Packer fan, I mean, I'm starting AJ Dillon, right? Just because I'm a Packer fan, and I think I mean, even though Pierce is going to get more, maybe might get more touches, Dylan's touches might be a little more valuable. And if that makes because they're coming from Aaron Rodgers and Aaron Rodgers led offense, really don't know how the Texans are going to be. So, and AJ Dillon does have last year, so you know how he is. So I mean, if you're a Packers fan, I'd go with AJ Dillon. Then after that, it's just who you like better. It's not really who do you think's better because I think they're both the same, honestly.
And that was part of my conversation we were talking. I said, you know what? Draft a good team, but also draft guys you want to root for, like your favorite team where you drafted guys you want to root for. It makes it fun. Fantasy is about fun. He's doing it. He's got a buddy across country that they're reconnecting through football. And I'm like, that's going to keep you in touch for decades. Like my buddy Lance in Alaska, who I see when we do football stuff, and that's what's kept us connected over the last 25 or so years since we've known each other. But yeah, good, excellent advice. I'm
It's a
totally
good
there with
question.
you.
Yeah, it's a good question.
And now a message from our favorite sponsor.
Underdog Fantasy is the best and easiest place to play fantasy sports. Now that we are in season, they offer even more fantasy sports options. You can choose to play 4 to 6 round draft contests with up to 10 people. You can even create your own private draft room. That
And
sounds
that's
pretty
not
good.
all. Underdog also offers pick'em fantasy contests where you decide if players will go higher or lower than a listed stat line, from touchdowns to yards to interceptions and many more. It's a fun way to show off your fantasy prowess. Sign up now with the code Couriers and they'll double your first deposit up to $100 in bonus cash.
So, in case you missed that, when you make your first deposit of $10 or more, deposit $100, get $100 FREE.
With their slick mobile app and user-friendly website, you'll have no problem jumping in and drafting your squad or making your best picks.
So join Underdog today and don't forget to use the code Couriers. A link is in the notes of the podcast.
Now, back to the podcast. Short and sit. Who are you going to start? Who are you going to sit? Let's find out. I got JJ Wayne to dance. He said he would never dance. That's got to be the
Well,
best drop ever.
so I broke my chair that I sat on, and I'm too cheap to go out and buy a new one. So it's missing one wheel. So if I lean the wrong way, I may fall. So I almost did that right there. So I don't dance. It's too risky.
Yeah, you were dancing. You were jamming to that music when it came in. So
Kind of caught me
it,
by surprise. It was pretty snazzy.
it's pretty snazzy. I worked on that over the weekend. I was like, ooh, I need something fun. And you'll get to hear it 17 more times. That's the
Oh,
cool thing about them now. Start or sit. I even tried some voice modulator. That didn't work. That sounded like I was singing. It was ridiculous. But anyway, for Courier Nation, if you have start set questions, I'll put a thing up on Facebook every week. You can pop them on there. If it's about Thursday night, we won't get to it. I'll pop a message on Facebook for you. But otherwise, we'll get to as many as we can during. We have basically about a 20-25 minute here section to go through, and we'll do sort of a speed round. And then if we hit any games afterwards, we hit games afterwards. Sound good, JJ Way?
let's go.
Here's the controversial one that I mentioned before we started recording, and on the thread has 20 replies. Josh Allen versus the Rams. This has already happened, so the answer is known. Or Jalen Hurts versus the Lions. What would you have said in a vacuum before the game that they've already watched? What would you tell somebody?
I mean, I'm going Josh Allen all day. I mean, I think Josh Allen is just one of those quarterbacks that at this point in his career, he's almost quarterback. Are you benching Patrick Mahomes under any? Are you benching Patrick Mahomes over Jalen Hurts?
I don't know how you have two top six quarterbacks.
True, sure.
I,
I mean, totally understand. So it's like,
I told him to trade him.
but what I mean, if it's like a one quarterback league, maybe you got
It
Josh
is.
Allen and Jalen Hurts. So, but like, I'm a Josh Allen guy. Josh Allen's been the number one quarterback the last 2 years. I think he's done enough to earn a spot. This could be a shootout. Ain't that kind of what you want?
Yeah. And I said take Jalen Hurts, trade him to pick up other pieces. If you have two giant pieces like that in a one quarterback league, Josh Allen, if he gets injured, you're dead anyway. But the rest of the team wasn't strong. I was like, take Jalen Hurts, use him, put him in there to fill in. His team actually was missing like wide receivers, I think it was, and that was a lot of the discussion. And then the waiver wire, pick up some goofball quarterback for the 1 week you don't need Josh Allen because you put the draft capital in at this point in the year. We don't want to get too cute yet.
Plus,
Okay,
with the amount of yards Gabe Davis is going to have, that pretty much makes Josh Allen a lot to be awesome.
I'm playing Gabe Davis a lot. Brandon Cooks or Hollywood, point 0.5 PPR.
That's a good one too. I think I'm going to go. I think we'll go Hollywood here just because of the. I mean, we know the offense is a little better. Um, Cooks is going to get 1,000 yards, and honestly, that's all Marquise. That's all Hollywood's been. But you hopefully in this new offense where it air raid a little more, I'd go with Hollywood for the upside. I think there's a little more upside with Hollywood.
I'm with you there. Cooks is a quiet guy. If you got him on your team, you got a sneaky great pick for the year. But who else are they going to throw to? Is Ertz is possibly playing? We'll have updates as we get farther in. Their second and third quarterback receivers are probably Andy Isabella and
Rondell Moore.
no Rondell Moore. I don't haven't heard officially if he's in or out. There's
Rondell.
Dulcich, not Dulcich. A guy with a funny name that I've never heard of. So that's how professional we are. A guy with a
Is
funny name
AJ
I've never
Green
heard of.
still playing, right?
Yeah, but we don't
He was
count him.
good. He was good last year, man.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm with you. Maybe we'll disagree soon. Amon-Ra St. Brown or Juju in the flex?
I'm gonna go Juju. I've been on the Juju train. I've been starting to get on Juju train. It's a good offense. I think he's the number one wide receiver on that team. So, what wide receiver one do you want? Jared Goff or Patrick Mahomes is? I'm gonna go with Patrick Mahomes at the moment.
I'm going to disagree with you. I mean, these are splitting hairs only because I love Amon-Ra St. Brown. Only because Patrick Mahomes says this is going to be a total. He's going to spread the ball around like no tomorrow. And who in the world else is Jared Goff going to throw to? It's going to be Amon-Ra St. Brown and DeAndre Swift,
TJ
Hawkinson,
Hawkinson,
maybe.
man.
But he
DJ
hasn't shown.
Chark's healthy. DJ Chark's healthy.
Yeah, so are the other 17 receivers on the Chiefs that Mahomes He's like, sorry, he already apologized to fantasy players. Like I would have said Juju, but then I remember what he said, so I'm
So,
gonna go Amon Ra for that reason.
so if a reporter asks you, what are you going to do with the ball? Well, I'm only throwing it to Travis Kelce. That's the only person I'm going to throw to. If he's not open, I'm just going to Juju. That's the only two people I'm going to throw to. I mean, what do you expect Mahomes to say?
Well, he's not gonna come. He came out and he said, I want to apologize to fantasy players this year because we're gonna spread the ball around like no tomorrow. Nobody says that either. So at least he's recognized. I do give Mahomes props for recognizing fantasy. Most other guys are like, y'all fantasy. I don't want to deal with you. I hate you. I loathe you. And we should be like, dude, we are what keeps you in business, NFL. If it wasn't for fantasy, the NFL would be not nearly the juggernaut it
Oh,
is. It would
yeah.
still be big, but that's fantasy put it over the top by a lot.
That and gambling.
Yeah, gambling's put it even higher,
Yeah.
and fantasy is starting it. But anyway, okay, we're looking at DJ Moore or Hollywood Brown.
That's a tough one. I'm gonna go with Hollywood again. I just don't know how Baker's gonna play. He's never. I don't think he's ever really carried a top end wide receiver yet. We know Kyler Murray has at least for the first 7 games of the season. After that, that's who knows. So I'm gonna go with Hollywood again here. I mean, I love DJ Moore though. I just gotta
Does
see
it
if
does it matter that it's standard, not PPR? Not really. I don't think.
I don't think so because I think the upside's bigger for Hollywood. I mean, this
Oh,
like the
100%.
Baker splash plus 75-yard touchdown. I mean, I think that could get Hollywood easy.
And he's got nobody else for 6 weeks, along with Elijah Mitchell or Rashad Penny, standard scoring, no receptions.
Ooh, that's a good one.
And they're great standard scoring. Like I have them guys. I move up on my standard ratings
Yeah, I
because they
think
don't have to depend on catches.
that might be one of those where it's just who are you a bigger fan of, right? I like Kyle Shanahan and the 49ers, but you also got to remember they're going to have other running backs probably popping in. In Seattle, it's just Rashad Penny, but Rashad Penny could get hurt. I mean, hopefully, but that's just the pass that he has. That's a tough one. I'm a 49ers guy, so I'm going to go Elijah Mitchell. That's
Your
hard.
whole argument made me say Rashad Penny.
Yeah.
No one else is there. It's not about the catches. The other two guys are going to Homer's supposedly going to get the catches. So I'm going to go
But when a running back hits
run.
the 49ers offense, man, it hits,
Yeah,
dude.
it hits, but the question is, are they going to? It
They're
depends.
going to
Trey
run a
Lance is going to
lot.
fit that.
They're
They're
going to
both going to
run
run a
a
lot.
lot.
Yeah, they're both going to run. Yeah. Okay, let's go up to rookie question: Alec Pierce or Johan Dotson? Johan Dotson?
John Dodson, Jahan,
Jahan. I always say his name
Jahan.
wrong. I call him Johan. I
Alec
just do
Pierce
it
and
all the time.
Jahan Dodson. Oh, that's like.
Don't start either
I
of
mean,
them.
I
Just one.
wouldn't really want to start either one of those guys, but if you got to start one of those guys, you might want to rethink your draft position here. I don't want to be mean, but no,
They got to start 42 players, I guess.
I'm gonna go Jahan Dotson on this one. I think he's like the first round pick, right? Alec Pierce isn't. So they want to try to get the ball involved a little earlier because they got a lot of capital in him. So I'm gonna go with John. And both of these teams might end up throwing about the same. The Commanders might even throw a little more.
More. We'll throw more.
So I mean, a little more volume there. So I go John Dodson.
He's number
Sorry you
2.
got to
They love
start.
him.
Like sorry you got to start either one of those guys though, man.
We got to disagree on something. Okay, let's try this one. Cordero Patterson or Ramondre Stevenson as an RB2 for a team?
Oh, that's a good one. I was thinking about coming in. Like, where do you put Ramondre Stevenson? Do you put Ramondre Stevenson as a start, or you got to sit? You because there's potential there, but you just don't know how that backfield is going to play out. You don't know if it's going to be um Harris or Stevenson. You don't know how that offense is going to play out. They're probably going to run the ball a lot, and you do got last year from Cordero Patterson, right? But he kind of tailed off there at the end of the season when he was playing more running back, strictly running back. So you know what? That's tough. I might go Ramondre Stevenson here, just because I don't. Just because he's
This
more of
is
a
why
running.
they're asking us. They
He's
want to.
more. I guess he's more of a running back than Cordero Patterson is, and touchdowns maybe. But Cordero Patterson can also get catches. I mean, that's a tough one.
Cordero's RB1 on his team.
Yeah, that's
You would
true. You
never
know what?
expect me to say this. I'm
I'm gonna.
taking Patterson.
You're right. I was getting ready to say you beat me to it, but yeah, that's tough. Well, I'll go Patterson too. Oh man, that's a tough. That's a good
And
one.
that's from Jared from Monday show. For me to say that is a lot because I love Ramondre. He's my boy.
Yeah, that's a fear that I just don't know where they're going yet. I'd like to see it for a week to see what's going to happen, but who knows? Pierre Strong might come in, bust out 6 catches for like 2 touchdowns, and you're like, oh god, here we go.
That'd make my day. I
Oh
need a
god.
extra running back somewhere. Okay, and just so everybody's listening, as you know, we're assuming that it's either half point or full point PPR when you are sending us something. Unless if you say standard, we'll get it like we had for the early ones from David. But these here, we're assuming half point PPR, and we give any of these that there will be receptions to make a difference as well. Okay, we're looking at Rashad Bateman, DJ Moore, or Antonio Gibson at a flex. Once again, Bateman, DJ Moore, or Gibson as a flex. This is easy.
I'm gonna
Easy.
go Gibson here, man. I mean, he's going to get the volume. He's going to get all the runs. He's probably going to get the touchdowns as well. So I mean, starting running back over some iffy wide receivers at this point. Well, DJ Moore isn't really iffy, but DJ Moore
It could be easy.
never really splashes though. That's the problem. Antonio Gibson can splash, and I think when you're looking at fill your flex, I mean, an RB1 with high upside there.
Hey, I said Gibson was going to get 1,400 yards, something crazy like that, and Ron Rivera backed me up. He said DJ Dove said this, so Ron Rivera came out saying we're giving him the load. We're going to treat it like we did last year, even though he stunk it up. We're going to see if he can not stink it up.
He did. He did. I don't think he stunk it up last. He wasn't great. He wasn't like the top five. We put a lot of pressure on him being like a top
He
five
did.
running back, but he was still solid. It's not like he was trash.
This is flex too, so if you get Antonio Gibson at a flex, man,
That's what I'm
oh,
saying. It's
that's
nice.
disgusting.
Good for you, man.
Okay, start 2. Here are your 4 guys.
God,
Oh, this isn't hard. Swift, ETN, Godwin, Gage.
gotta start 2 of those. So I'm gonna go definitely DeAndre Swift,
Boom.
and I'm gonna go Swift and ETN because I'm not sure about Godwin. And then who was the other one? Gage?
Gage.
And it's just Russell. I'd rather have 2
He's
stud
getting
running
1,000
backs.
yards, right?
Yeah, you're right. He is going to get 1,000 yards. But so
Not this week.
is going to get 1,000 yards as well, probably. But they also said James Robinson's going to be filling in a lot too. They said he's
Robinson's
going to be
playing.
playing. So I mean, that's a tough deal for ETN because I don't think they're going to give him those between the tackle carries.
Oh no,
He's
I'm
going to
not
get a lot
playing.
of touch carries.
ETN is right now poor man's Alvin Kamara. He's going to catch the snot out of the balls. He might run it 120 times, maybe,
Yeah, maybe.
maybe, but he's going to catch 60, 70 balls,
We're
maybe.
we're
He's
hoping.
that's because Robinson's not going to catch anything except a cold.
That's not true. Robinson is a good pass catcher.
But he's not going. He's not going. They're not going to. They're not. It's kind of like with the old. I mean, how many balls? I have to look it up. How
But
many balls did Ingram catch? Not a bunch, but they don't need it.
But if you look at it, you've got 2 running backs that can do both. That opens up the arsenal. So if you never throw it to James Robinson, you're like, well, we don't have to worry about him in the passing game. If you got two running backs that can do both,
Yeah.
why would you not utilize that when they're probably your 2 best weapons other than Christian Kirk?
Yeah, I'm hoping Peterson gets some good things. I got some root and trail. But yeah, hey, Swift and ETN are the two that I'm saying. Here's the question. I told the guy. I said, um, I have no clue, but we're gonna guess. J.K. Dobbins, will he be ready this week?
I, who knows? He said, well, I mean, he says he was, but then now all of a sudden I have no idea. I mean, I can't tell you if he's going to be ready or not. I,
I say two things. Number one, I just picked up Justice Hill in a bunch of places.
yeah, I mean, I would say he doesn't play at this point.
Yeah, two, you got till Sunday morning. Watch him. Have something ready and just watch the reports come out between 11 and 12, so you know if he's going to play or not.
But
But watch it. But have something lined up and be ready to roll.
I mean, if you drafted J.K. Dobbins and didn't have something already lined up, that's your bad. Because even when you drafted him, there's been question marks from the get go. So if you drafted him and you're like, well, what do I do in case he doesn't play? I got to have a backup plan. So that should already be in place if you're a wise fantasy guy.
You would hope so. And those are our start set questions from Facebook. Now I'm going to run you through a super duper speed round here as we go down the games. It looks like we have a handful of minutes left here before JJ Wang's wisdom for this great Friday into the first weekend show. So JJ Wang, quick question for you. The Bears. Who do you trust?
That's a tough question.
They're playing the 49ers. Do you play any Bears?
I would. I mean, well,
There's
like you
one
said,
Bear I play. One.
well,
Just one.
I would play Justin Fields. Like in a two quarterback league, I would play
Oh, well,
Justin.
yeah, you got it
I
there.
mean, playing Justin Fields, but he's not my wide QB1 at this point. I mean, honestly, I'm still confident in David Montgomery. I still think he's going to get the majority of the workload, at least in the beginning of the season. I know they like Herbert, but Montgomery is solid. So I would say Montgomery one and then Mooney two, because I'm like I said, I don't know how Fields is going to operate. I know who you're going to say. So you want to go ahead and say him?
You want to say it? You want to
All
say
right,
it? Who is it?
go ahead. It's your
Cole
boy.
Kmet, only guy I'm starting against the 49ers defense. That's it. Cole Kmet, because Fields is going to throw it to him. Fields, I love. It's 49ers week one. But the thing is, a point, I don't know if I'm going to steal your thunder from the end, is don't try to get cute this week. If you drafted him, play him. It's week one. A lot of times we overthink ourselves. I started a new strategy personally. I set all of my lineups Saturday evening, and I say this is set. Because on Sunday I would always change so much out, it always would jack up my teams. The only thing I would change on Sunday now is if someone's hurt.
Yep.
So that's my new. It's a new thing I started, and it helps me to like not Sunday morning be stressing about my lineup Saturday night before I go to bed. Everything is set, and barring injury, because nothing's going to change unless some dude, unless Ruggs goes out and does something stupid. That's the only thing that will change overnight on Saturday night. And most of them have curfews and stuff. So that's my new strategy. Okay, here we go. Little Miami Dolphins. Got my Tua jersey on for week one. Excited. My daughter doesn't know. She just got her first nice jersey. We got her a Zach Thomas purple and white, pink and white jersey. She's gonna go bonkers when she gets it. Okay, who would you feel more confident starting? Tyreek Hill or Jalen Waddle?
Jalen Waddle, because I know Jalen Waddle and Tua have a relationship, so we know how they kind of work together. Tyreek is iffy on Tyreek, man. I just don't know what to. Just can't. Hard for me to picture him being Tyreek Hill this year. So I'm more confident in Jalen Waddle.
Steelers play the Bengals. Who would you start? T. Higgins or Deontay Johnson?
T. Higgins
Ooh,
upside. I think he's got
I
more
love T.
upside
Higgins.
ability. Yeah.
I love T. Higgins. And back to the Dolphins thing, I'm with you 100% there. I think on my draft rankings, I had Waddle a step ahead of Tyreek. I think they're going to be frustrating. Let's go down to how about the Saints versus the Falcons?
Nice.
Are you? I did barf. Uh, Jameis is he a QB1 this week?
I think so. I think anytime Jameis steps on the field, is there's an opportunity of QB1 material. I think Jameis has now don't also has like QB28 material too.
Four
Because
interceptions, four touchdowns.
yeah, but so I think Jameis can be a top 12 quarterback. I mean, I think Jameis can be a top 12 quarterback at any point in the season and on any week, no matter who he's playing. Honestly, I think the Saints got a good defense. Now they might rely on that a lot more. That's how they did last year in the beginning. he wasn't throwing a whole lot, but maybe a little bit more efficiency. But no, so I wouldn't. You know what? I won't say he's a top 12. I think more like 12 to 15 ish right now.
I have to look and see my rankings. I could see him top 12. The two teams, usually I chase teams if I'm streaming things. This year, my two teams I'm probably chasing are the Falcons and the Jets. I'm going to follow those teams around. So I would start Jameis this week. I mean, Lamar, you start regardless, but I would do that. With the Falcons running back, if say you drafted terribly, would you, and at this point you got to start players, or you're on a dynasty league and you have, would you start Damien Williams or Tyler Algiere this week,
Oh
knowing that
God.
Williams is number two and a pass catching big back, even though he's 30, but they like old running backs. And Algiere is a rookie who's never played, but he was listed as third on the depth chart, and the Falcons are supposedly going to run the snot out of the ball.
Why in the world would you have to choose between those two?
Dynasty. Probably
Oh
dynasty teams.
God. You know what? I'm a sucker for youth. I'm gonna go Algier. So
I, there's a couple plays I'm tempted to throw in Williams just because to make myself look more intelligent than everyone else. Like maybe on a bet on a say on a sneaky place, if you're got to spend like $1,000 on a DK lineup or something, might be the place to put it in there for DraftKings or whatnot. So uh, let's go to the Commanders versus the Jaguars.
Oh, great game.
You can tell I'm from the country as I got it. Uh, who would you rather start in a flex spot, ETN or Gibson? You drafted well because they'd fall second or third running back.
I'm gonna
Gotta
go.
get the money.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go ETN. I'm more
ETN?
in. Yeah, I'm gonna go ETN because I'm still afraid of McKissick because we all see what McKissick did to Gibson at several points in time. So I mean, it kind of could be the same thing. But yeah, I'll go ETN here.
Packers Vikings. Would you rather start Adam Thielen or any of the Packers receivers?
Probably Adam.
Had to ask. Giants Titans. If you had to pick a receiver from either team that you had to start on your team, who would it be?
Robert Woods, right? He's a
I,
Titan.
I'd say Kadarius Toney. But
Uh,
I'm one of those few believers. Kadarius Toney plays. Dude is a game changer. If you can have him on your bench and just keep an eye, man.
yeah, but
I
you don't
love
know when
Robert Woods. Robert
you
Woods coming off
know.
an ACL.
But you said when he plays, so you don't.
He's
He can
playing right now.
he can
There's
play
no injury report that has him out yet.
and he can blow up at any second. Be careful. It's a ticking
Ooh.
time bomb.
Okay, Raiders and Chargers. You have to play. You can not Devontae Adams. Which receiver in that game, not named Devontae Adams, has the biggest week? Probably more for a DK kind of lineup.
I'm gonna, I'll go Mike Williams. I think like the big play potential there. Like hopefully he's healthy. When he's healthy, we've seen beginning of last season what he could do. I think that offense is going to throw it a lot. I think he'll have I think he'll be the receiver you want.
Are we sleeping on Keenan?
I don't think we ever sleep on Keenan, but I think Keenan gets a pass because he's the only 30-year-old wide receiver that never gets told he's not going to be any good because he's 30. You never hear that about Keenan Allen. It's always like, hey, Keenan Allen's awesome. But you never hear Keenan Allen's 30. He's about hitting that downhill slide, but it never happens. So I don't think anybody's sleeping with Keenan.
So after those first 3 years, once he got through all the injuries, he's been amazing. Or 2 3 years, he's been
Oh yeah, he's
amazing.
been real good.
We're and us included, me included. We're jumping Mike Williams, and Mike Williams had a couple good games, but dude, he's Mr. Glass.
Oh,
It's
absolutely.
same question. Chiefs and Cardinals, not counting Hollywood Brown. Which receiver would you start if you had to start one from that game, not named Hollywood Brown?
Who was the Chiefs, right?
Chiefs versus the Cardinals.
Well,
This could be the shootout of the week.
I'm gonna go Juju, man. I mean that's if you're taking the wide receiver one for the team at this point. I'm guessing. So I'm gonna go Juju.
If you're standard, maybe MBS because he'll get that bomb. Would be my
Maybe
guess.
he'll drop one too.
Buccaneers. What?
He'll drop one too.
Buccaneers Cowboys, one quarterback league. You drafted well. You got Dak or you got Tom Brady. This is a dumb question.
Oh, I've actually got to make that choice.
Oh, and you're
I'm
not taking Mr. 800 pass
I
attempts?
gotta go with Tom Brady, or do I want to go with Dak Prescott? Oh, I'm going with Tom Brady just because it's Tom Brady. So yeah, that's my route. But yeah, it's a luxury to have that choice, but it's also a bad choice to have too. when you got to choose between them, you just don't know who to start at that point. But yeah, Tom Brady.
In a daily lineup, you get to pick one receiver, CD Lamb or Mike Evans.
Oh, CeeDee Lamb.
Okay, last game we're going to look at here is going to be a blowout, I think. Broncos versus Seahawks. DK Metcalf, Jerry Judy, or Cortland Sutton.
Oh,
Who has a bigger game?
Jerry Judy, man. I think I got him high ranked. But
Wow.
I would have, and honestly, I would have DK second with Geno Smith. I think he'll find a little more success. I think they'll target him a little more. I think DK gets targeted more than Tyler Lockett.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm sorry I hurt your feelings there, but I'm a Judy guy. I'm a Metcalf guy, and not really a Sutton guy.
Any other guys you want to point out who's never done anything in the NFL that you want to root for, other than a stud like Cortland Sutton?
No, no. I mean, there's a lot of guys that have done nothing in the NFL that I
That
root
we're all
for.
rooting for, yeah.
So I mean, I feel like everybody has those guys. Hey, Cortland Sutton's your guy. Cortland Sutton's your guy. Ain't nothing I can say about it.
Last question before you take us out of here. Which rookie will have the best week one of the NFL? Is it my boy?
I'm gonna have to. I'll go Damien Pierce, I guess. Right? He's gonna get probably the most running back up most. It might get the most touches out of any rookie in week one.
Yeah.
So what do you
Colts
think?
worry me though. Colts worry me. That's my only hesitation to
That is
think.
true.
The Ravens defense is good, but not like it's Brees or Pierce, right?
I would think so. Yeah, I would think it's
Yeah.
Brees or Pierce, but
Unless London does something weird
that's true.
with the opportunity.
I'm just going to go with opportunity right off the top, and it looks like Pierce. But like you said, with that Colts defense, that's an iffy play. That's a tough question, man.
I mean, everybody just rookies. We get excited for them. We talked about rookies a lot. Just buyer beware because we're sort of in redraft season, whether you're dynasty or not. If you're in dynasty, you're either losing for a while and trading for a while. If you're in redraft, you're playing it through and just don't quit on us. Those teams that quit drive me bonkers.
Oh,
So
I hate those guys.
this is week one. We can't wait. We are so excited. It's going to be an awesome week. Enjoy your week. Enjoy your red zone. Enjoy your team. Root for your players. JJ Wang, get us into week one.
All right, so the build up is here. You've been waiting. You've been getting excited. Football is finally here, and so when Monday morning rolls around or Sunday evening, don't overreact. I mean, the first week is not the time to like, what do I do? And just be, I just got to go blow things up. That's not how it works. Just relax. Don't overreact. Wait till like week 4 or 5 before you want to do that because you can start 0-4, still come back. Just stick to your guns. You drafted it. You was confident in it before the season. The first game of the season shouldn't change that. So trust yourself and trust the process.